What's up, everybody? Welcome back. As you can see, we're in the tow pig with the whole crew. You can't see it, but we've got a trailer back there somewhere. And we're headed to pick up another project, but it's not the kind of project you think. So check it out. All right, y'all. So as you may have noticed, we got a new project car. And you might recognize it. I don't know. Maybe you do. This started life as a '69 Chevy pickup, and it was cut into a Blazer, and it needs quite a bit. So if you haven't picked up, this belongs to Casey's Customs. He posted he was needing some help finishing some of his projects and working on some stuff that piddly and takes a little time. So we reached out, offered to help, and that's what we're doing. So we got it loaded up. We got to get it there so Heaven can fix it. She doesn't teach me. We got to do a flex plate, a starter for starters to get it thing to where it'll start up and run and drive and do all the normal car things. And then once we get there, we're just gonna kind of dive in and start just finishing up some of the stuff that needs to be finished. The flooring, I guess the drive shaft. We want a one-piece drive shaft in it, and just getting her buttoned up. Get it right. We'll see how it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I know y'all saw my post on Facebook talking about the top secret project that I have. I think most of y'all thought it was a car. It wasn't. It was more of a channel kind of upgrade, hopefully. And the reason it was secret is because I didn't want to tell anybody about it if it wasn't going to work out. But it worked out. So here we are. This belongs to a guy on YouTube named Casey's Customs. I'm sure some of you recognize it. He's a pretty big channel, super cool dude, builds a bunch of super cool projects. And this is one of them. This started life as a '69 Chevy pickup. I think it was a long bed. And he cut it into a Blazer. And he put it on airbags and got it running. And then the starter and the flex plate kind of quit on him and wore all the gears off. And if you know his channel, you know he's got a lot of stuff going on, so he doesn't really have time to mess with like the piddly stuff, so he needed somebody to come help him. So we reached out. We're happy to help. He's got plenty of cool stuff to work on, and we're just gonna kind of start picking stuff up as we can and work on it. We've got some pretty good ideas with this thing, what we want to do with it, and how we want to help him out with it. But we're gonna start with that flywheel and flex plate and get this thing running first. Then we're gonna convert it to a single piece drive shaft. We're gonna drain that tank and put a new fuel pump in and get the fuel system all sorted back out and working. And hopefully before too long you'll see us driving this thing, maybe spinning the tires in it, maybe breaking it and refixing it, and having fun with it. So buckle in, enjoy the ride. We also got some new tools. If you want to push down on that to keep it from sliding. This side up. Ready? Bingo bango.
That's right.
DeWalt air compressor. We don't do a lot of air stuff, but the stuff that we do has pretty much worn that compressor out. And so we just went ahead and bought this because we're rich. So we ended up with a compressor. So we're gonna get this thing hooked up and then get our canopy put up over this and get started. And then also while we're doing that, he's got some guys coming after some parts for this. So he's got to yank this motor out. And this video will probably be bouncing back and forth. He's got to get this out of here so he can sell the parts. And then we got to get on this because it's going to be awesome. Took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but I think we're fixed up now. So we've got the compressor, we've got the regulator, we got the hoses, the fittings switched because these fittings didn't fit any other compressors and it was just kind of a pain. All of our tools had the wrong size fittings. Now we got that, and we've got the wiring ran. I've got to secure this so it stays off of the hot part. I know it's not perfect. It'll be perfect one day. This is what we got right now. It's wired in, and I guess we're about to kick this bad boy on and see what happens. So,
hope we don't let the smoke out of it. That's stupid. Take it back.
Return it. Let's try this again. Just one more time. Stand by. All right, turns out I'm an idiot. Didn't know what I was doing. But I think we've got it now. About to try it first try. Okay. So now we just gotta let that thing run and shut off. It's like a break in. It says 30 minutes, but we're just gonna let it run and shut off, and then it should be good. I'm about to get my Onyx set up and start on this. First thing I can do is measure for a one-piece drive shaft. And I guess technically the first thing I have to do is get the old drive shaft out. So that's where we're at now. You can see I just cut it and I'm gonna fight with trying to get it out. I think the first problem with this drive shaft is that it was a little bit long and there's also not a slip on it. You can see it was all the way in the transmission, all the way, and then this doesn't have a slip joint. And obviously that end doesn't have one. I didn't even notice that until the drive shaft guy was here trying to measure. So we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna just go ahead and go to a single piece. We're probably gonna have to modify some of this to make a single piece work, but in the end, I think that's what he wants, a single piece, and I think that'll be the better option. I think it'll just work a lot better. So I'm about to get this stuff ripped out, and then we're gonna get the air aired up and start playing with it and measuring it. I'm gonna get this slip joint set out to where it should be, and then we can take some measurements front and back. I'll kind of show you all how that looks with it aired all the way up and it aired all the way back down and see what that looks like. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump on getting this stuff torn out, and I'll check back in here in just a minute. All right, so we got all that out. This is really more where you want this thing. You can run it closer, but this is a pretty long yoke, so there's no reason to not. And with this being on air ride, it's gonna have a lot of play. So we pulled that out, we got that set there. Now we're about to measure with it all the way down and see what the measurement is, and then we're going to air it all the way back up and then see what the measurement is so we can see what we need to make the drive shaft.
Jake,
What up?
are you done?
Close.
How about now?
We're finishing up.
Are you done now?
A little closer.
Okay, all right.
15/16 and 7/8. Heaven, those are both too small. This is crazy. This thing's huge.
Howdy.
All right, transmission's out. And you can see these teeth are a little tapered, a little chewed up. There's some more bad spots I can show you once we got that out. But we're gonna go ahead and get that pulled off. I think while we have this out, we're gonna run it up to the car wash and wash it real good. It's pretty dirty. And then get all the new parts put on, get the transmission put back in and hooked back up, and then we'll kind of be back at square one so we can start doing some of the cool stuff, getting this thing where it'll start and run, get the fuel pump changed, get the gas tank drained and emptied and refilled. Kind of getting into some of the fun stuff. Make this thing make loud noises. So there she is. There's a little before on the transmission. We'll see how it turns out. There we go. That's the after. It's not perfect, but she's a sight better than she was. So we can get this thing back, get that flex plate changed, get the starter changed, get her put back on. There she is, and you can see she's worn down a little bit, but not a ton. So we're gonna try to get this figured out, see why this thing is slipping on the starter. I haven't looked at the starter gears yet. We got a new starter for it anyway, so we'll see what happens. All right, so we got the new starter on, new flex plate. You can barely see it over there. I took my power probe just to check. I wanted to put it on the hot side of the solenoid, and whenever I send power, it should spin. Sweet. Now it's not gonna start because we don't have any power going to the coil or anything, but that tells me that the starter problem is fixed. And so we can put the transmission back in here, get everything hooked up, and then we can start messing with trying to get this thing to run. It's pretty hard being this awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's not. It's easy. All right, well, Heaven's been just killing it. She's got everything done. So right now the starter and the flywheel, or the flex plate, excuse me. I don't need the internet attacking me on that. But it's all fixed. We got the transmission put back in. Everything's hooked back up to the transmission except for the shifter, and that's because he's got a low car style shifter that we're gonna put on top. I guess we're about to start on that. Right now we're looking for a yoke that we can put on here so that if we spin this thing over or we start it or whatever, it doesn't pump any fluid out of the tail shaft area. But there's that. We got the carrier bearing support taken off. So I don't know what we're gonna have to do. If this has to be raised in order for that to work when it's laid all the way down, we've got some ideas. I think we're gonna box this in on the back side here and box the frame over here, which could only help because that's where it was been shortened. It could only help to box this. And then we're gonna bend some pipe and build supports that go in the corner, and then the bottom will still be attached. So that'll be enough strength to hold the top of this, and we don't have to worry about relocating those trailing arms or anything, because that would be a big job. He's got a yoke. We're about to pop those loose, put the yoke in here. We got to take the drive shaft parts and drop them off at the drive shaft shop, and then we'll get that shifter put on, and then that might be it for the day. I don't know. Depends how everybody's feeling, but we're cruising right along, rock and rolling. So hopefully you're enjoying the videos, and we'll check back in here in a minute. Check this out. It's off the key, bruh. So don't mind the wiring. We're still sorting it out. We're still looking through it, figuring out what's what. The key, the starter is on the key, but we have the coil hot wired right here, and we're gonna see if she'll start up so that we know kind of where we're sitting with everything else. All right, go ahead and hit it. Cool. Day one, got this sucker running.
Yep.
Transmission's cleaned up a little bit, still pretty dirty. We've got just a random yoke in there right now because we're gonna take the stuff to the drive shaft shop. But it's pretty good progress we made today. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the following morning. So we're gonna hit the shop, nice and quiet. Nobody's around. Lester's eating breakfast. He's about to be out. But we're about to make us a list and go on a parts run. Nothing too crazy this morning. We're gonna get a fuel pump. Probably gonna get some plug wires, maybe get a few electrical connectors that we need. And we go from there. And on the way to the parts house, we're gonna drop off the drive shaft. Might get some battery cable ends, a little bit better style. I don't know. But we're gonna see what we can do. Maybe even get a filler cap because I'm thinking about going ahead and building the box. But I don't know if I'll do that. We might just go ahead and get the wiring and the stuff to get this bad boy running on the key with its own fuel pump. See what that looks like, and then we'll go from there. If I can get it there by today, I'll be good. If we can just set in the cab, start it, maybe put a timing light on it and get the timing set perfect, and see how we can get this bad boy running. That'll be a good weekend progress video that I can post coming up. And we'll see where we go from there. It's up on jack stands right now. Doesn't look near as cool when she's up off the ground. Oh, get my finger out of there. Yeah, doesn't look near as cool, but she's gonna be. Got a lot of stuff we need to sort out, but we're gonna start with getting her running first. It'd be awesome if we could get that drive shaft back, which is within a couple days. And we could figure out what we need to do here before we start putting a floor in this thing. That's about the only thing we're waiting on now to do the floor, to start on the floor anyhow, is the drive shaft. I don't know. Once again, it's morning time. My voice sounds like I'm trying to be Darth Vader or something, but it'll be all right. It'll sort out here pretty quick, and we'll be able to knock out some progress. We'll see you in a minute. All right, so we kind of underestimated ourselves. The goal for today was to have this thing running and running the fuel pump and stuff off the key. That was the goal for the whole day, and it's noon, and I'm pretty sure we've got it to that point.
Yep.
So fuel pump's hooked up, we got gas in it. Well, we've got the hot wire ran. It's already grounded, it's working on the key, should be. And then we've got the coil wire, as you can see, hooked up, and we're about to just prime the fuel system and see if we can get this baby to fire. I guess hit the key, see what happens.
I don't hear the pump.
No pumping action?
I don't hear it.
So we may have overestimated ourselves.
I don't think so, I say.
Yeah, so it's probably just that wire. That wire's kind of sketchy. What you're gonna want to do is twist your wires together and then just electrical tape them.
Yep, should be fine.
That's the best connection. Let me see if we got some squirts. Yep.
Here we go.
Now it's not wide open. Cool. So timing's still off a little bit. We got to do a timing light on it and adjust on that carb, get everything set right, fix any vacuum leaks we can find. But yeah, she fires up. Now we just got to figure out what wire for the fuel pump, and then go from there, I suppose. All right, so we found a wire. That was the right wire that we needed. So now, when you use the key, fuel pump comes on. Give me a squirt. Careful though, it hangs up. She still needs some. Yeah, she still needs some tuning on the old carburetor. I think the timing is still. I know the timing's not right because the distributor's still loose. But we're gonna clean up the wiring and stuff in the next one. But we got her running, starting, and using the key for the fuel pump and everything else. We're gonna upgrade this. We've got he's got a serpentine belt set up for a small block. So we're gonna change all this out and put a serpentine belt set up on it. That way we can get ready to start getting the radiator mounted, get everything working. That way when we get the drive shaft back, we can go do some burnies, we do some driving. I guess that's probably it for now. We're about to get a storm, as you can see. So we're just hitting that off here. Thank y'all very much for watching. If you came from Casey's channel, stick around, check it out. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you like seeing. And I guess we'll see y'all on the next one.